The quiet epidemic. Why loneliness isn't just feeling sad. You know what's strange? We often think of loneliness as an emotion, like sadness, anger, or joy. But for many older adults, loneliness is more than a passing feeling. It's a chronic, daily experience, and it turns out it can be as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. No, really, that's not just an exaggeration. The World Health Organization and countless researchers have said so. But let's not get too clinical just yet. Let's talk about what loneliness really looks like for seniors, and why it's silently hurting people every day. The hidden triggers. When does loneliness begin? For many people, loneliness creeps in slowly. It might begin after retirement, when the daily structure of work disappears, or after a spouse passes away, or when friends move, family gets busy, and suddenly the house feels too quiet. And sometimes it doesn't take a life-changing event. Just the gradual thinning of social ties, fewer phone calls, shorter conversations, missed birthdays, is enough. Let me tell you a quick story. A woman named Mary, age 82, once said, "The worst part of my day is when I realize no one has said my name out loud." That stuck with me. Can you imagine? How loneliness hurts the body, not just the mind. We usually talk about loneliness like it's all emotional, but science tells a different story. Loneliness in the elderly has been linked to high blood pressure, poor immune function, cognitive decline, increased risk of dementia, higher mortality rates. Why does this happen? Well, think of your body like a machine. When you feel isolated, your stress hormones stay elevated. Cortisol keeps pumping. Your sleep quality drops. You stop eating properly. You move less. It's like running an engine with no oil. And socially isolated seniors are more likely to develop depressive symptoms, which then cycle back into more withdrawal. It's a loop, and not an easy one to break. Digital age, digital divide. Why technology doesn't always help now, some people say. But there's Zoom, there's Facebook. Seniors just need to hop online. Sure, that sounds great in theory. But let's be real. Not everyone over 70 is fluent in iPads and apps. And even if they are, digital conversations don't always replace the warmth of sitting across from someone. The sound of laughter, a hug, a cup of coffee shared. You can't FaceTime that kind of comfort. That's not to say technology isn't helpful. It is. But we shouldn't pretend it's the full answer. Let's talk numbers, but not too boring, promise. Want to know how common loneliness is among older adults? According to the National Poll on Healthy Aging, 1 in 3 adults aged 65 to 80 say they feel lonely at least some of the time. Nearly 1 in 4 report feeling isolated from others. And loneliness isn't always about living alone. Some seniors live with family or in assisted living, and still feel invisible. Because what matters most isn't proximity, it's connection. The power of small moments. So what helps? Here's where things get interesting. It's not always about grand gestures or elaborate outings. Sometimes it's the smallest things. A daily phone call from a friend, a neighbor waving from across the fence, a familiar face at the coffee shop, joining a gardening club or a knitting group, or even a book club that only meets once a month. Humans are wired for connection. And older adults, especially, carry stories, wisdom, and humor that often go unheard. It's not just about curing their loneliness. It's about valuing them again. What you can do, even if you're not a doctor or therapist. Now let's switch gears. What can you do really? Here's the thing. Most people assume fighting loneliness requires trained professionals, therapists, big interventions. But you can help more than you think. Start small. Check in on older neighbors. Say hello at the mailbox. Be consistent. Even a 5-minute call every week builds emotional rhythm. Offer time. Help with errands. Attend a local senior center event. or just sit and listen. And if you're an older adult reading this, yes, reaching out takes energy. But sometimes taking the first step, even a small one, opens a surprising door. What's working? Programs that actually help. Thankfully, communities and governments are paying attention. Befriending programs. Volunteer-based services like Senior Companions in the U.S. match volunteers with isolated seniors for regular visits. Silverline, UK, a 24/7 hotline where older adults can just talk. Senior centers, still underrated. They host everything from bingo to computer literacy classes. And interestingly, intergenerational programs, where young people and older adults connect, seem to be magic. Teenagers teach seniors TikTok. Seniors teach teenagers how to write checks or bake a pie. Everyone learns something. What about therapy? Is that for me? Short answer? Yes. And no, it depends. Therapy helps, especially when loneliness overlaps with grief, depression, or anxiety. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, has been shown to reduce feelings of isolation in older adults. But therapy isn't the only path. Sometimes a walking group or a storytelling circle does wonders too. And honestly, therapy doesn't always have to look like lying on a couch talking about your past. There are friendly, approachable therapists out there who just help you build habits and connection. Don't wait. Why prevention matters. Here's something people don't say enough. You don't have to feel miserable to deserve connection. You don't have to hit rock bottom. Preventing loneliness is easier than fixing it once it takes root. It's like keeping weeds out of a garden, much easier than tearing them out later. So even if you feel okay now, it's worth building those social routines, attending that local event, or finally calling that old friend. Think of it like exercise. It keeps your heart, mind, and spirit in shape. Let's not forget, this is a collective issue. Here's the deeper truth. Loneliness among the elderly isn't just a them problem. It's an us problem. Because whether you're 25 or 85, one day, if you're lucky, you'll be old too. And the kind of society we build now is the one we'll inherit later. So let's make it one where growing old doesn't mean growing invisible. Final thoughts. It's okay to say you're lonely. We don't talk about loneliness enough. It can feel like admitting weakness, like saying you're somehow less. But it's not. It's human. It's real. And honestly, we all feel it sometimes. So if you're feeling it now, say something. Reach out. You're not a burden. You're a person who matters. And you deserve company, laughter, connection, and meaning at every age.